Hello everyone and welcome to Rollin'-ish. I'm Matt, and in this video we're looking at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which was a supplemental book that came out between 2020 and 2021 and was something that provided additional options and features and subclasses to what was given to us in the 2014 Player's Handbook. If you haven't done so already, check out our class playlist. There you're going to find all the breakdowns of all the classes from your 2014 Player's Handbook and what you get levels 1 through 20. In addition, we've broken down all the subclasses offered by your 2014 Handbook and the subclasses offered by Xanathar's Guide to Everything. This is going to have a XGtE tag in the name of the video so you can find them easily. Now we're looking at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, working up to, and now we're past the release date of the 2024 Player's Handbook. This is more of a retrospective look back at what these other books offered and what is different for the 2024 Player's Handbook, and those are going to be videos that we're going to be working on very soon. So for those of you who are new to D&D and don't understand the difference, these videos are going to help highlight what you get from either the 2014 version, which includes Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything supplements that came out thereafter. And then once you get that base down, you can compare it to what is being offered to us as players now in the 2024 Player's Handbook. We're working on the Monk subclass, and in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, there were two that were given to us, the Way of Mercy and the Way of the Astral Self. The Way of Mercy Monk subclass is going to be a great option for those who want to play a healer, but don't necessarily want to play a cleric. So if you're into the monks and the martial arts aspect of the class, but you still want to be able to heal, this is a great subclass for you to take. You can also consider, when doing a build, that the Way of Mercy monks are going to be those who not just heal, but bring aid to those in need. So this could be somebody that is injured and can't make it to a cleric or a physician, or those who are needy and typically might not be able to afford to do something like that in their city or town. A Way of a Mercy monk is great. You can also use religious aspects with this subclass. So again, if you liked that aspect of cleric with the deities and such, but you didn't really want to play a cleric mechanically, you can still incorporate faith into your monk, because maybe you belong to a religious order and are the healer of the monastery. That could be something you work into your backstory. As far as the features are concerned, when you choose this subclass at 3rd level, the first feature you get is called Implements of Mercy. This is going to give you proficiency in insight and medicine checks, and you gain proficiency with an herbalism kit, which you would need in order to make potions and things like that. You're also going to gain a special mask, which you often wear when using the features of this subclass. This mask doesn't do anything mechanically or magically. It's just for flavor. It might fit it into your description and in your role play. You can make up your own or roll one randomly from a table. I rolled a 3. That's the crying visage. So maybe the mask that I put on when I'm doing my duties as a physician or healer type, maybe you see a sad face on the mask, and maybe I have gemstones that represent tears coming down the face. Something like that would give it some flavor and fun stuff in roleplay. You also get Hand of Healing. As an action, you can spend a key point to touch a creature and restore a number of hit points equal to a roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. When you use your Fury of Blows, which has its own key point cost, you can replace one of the 2 unarmed punches you get, or unarmed strikes that you get, with a use of this feature without expending a key point for the healing. So if you happen to be situated somewhere on the map where you're 5 feet away from someone who needs healing and 5 feet away from an enemy, you can Fury of Blows, hit your enemy, heal your friend, your teammate. That's a good way of utilizing that. You also get the opposite in a feature called Hand of Harm. You use your key points to inflict wounds. You can spend a key point to deal extra necrotic damage equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. You can use this feature only once per turn. So if you're going to do an unarmed strike, a lot of times, or a lot of subclasses for monk, you can do an unarmed strike as a bonus action, or if you're spending key points to do Fury of Blows, maybe you, when you hit with one of those unarmed strikes, you use your key points to do a Hand of Harm and inflict some necrotic damage. At 6th level, you get a feature called Physician's Touch. When you use Hand of Healing on a creature, in addition to healing them for hit points, you can also end an effect of one of the conditions listed here: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned. When you use your Hand of Harm, in addition to the extra damage that you inflict, you can also subject that creature to the poisoned condition until the end of your next turn. This is going to give them disadvantage on their attack rolls and ability checks. At 11th level, you get Flurry of Healing and Harm. So what this allows you to do is when you spend a key point to use your Fury of Blows, you can now replace each of the unarmed strikes with a use of your Hand of Healing without spending an extra key point for that healing. So instead of doing, unarmed strike, maybe you go heal, heal, or heal, heal to different targets. In addition, when you make an unarmed strike with the Fury of Blows, you can use Hand of Harm with that strike without spending the extra key point for the Hand of Harm. You could still use Hand of Harm only once per turn. So instead of unarmed strike, it could be unarmed strike, Hand of Harm, unarmed strike. So those are good ways to save key points using this feature. So instead of using it on healing or harm, you just do your Fury of Blows and, do it that way. That would save you those key points to then use on something else later on. I like that a lot. Hand of Ultimate Mercy at 17th level as an action. You can touch the corpse of a creature that died within the past 24 hours and expend 5 key points. The creature returns to life, regaining a number of hit points equal to 4d10 plus your wisdom modifier. So there are some spells that are out there that can save one from dying, like Spare the Dying, or bring somebody back that has recently died, like Revivify. This is going to be your way of doing that as a monk without needing those kind of spells. It's just going to cost you a lot of key points in order to do that. The amount of healing is great. 4d10 plus your wisdom modifier is a good amount. One thing that's important to know is that if the creature died while subjected to any of the following conditions, when you revive them, they don't revive with that condition still. It's gone. It's like you're starting them fresh. So if they were blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned prior to them dropping dead and dying, they wouldn't come back still affected. They would come back with pretty much a clean slate. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So for those of you interested with the martial arts and want to play a monk, but also are interested in being somewhat of a healer for your group, this is a great subclass to use in order to do that. Next, we have the Way of the Astral Self. To me, this is the hippie subclass. And the reason I say that is because the Way of the Astral Self monk believes that their body itself is an illusion, that their true form is what their ki represents. This can be a force of order or disorder. So that could mean maybe you are serving to protect the weak, or maybe you're serving the mighty. So when I say hippie, it's more of like they view themselves more of a spiritual being than a physical being. And those are just different ways that you can incorporate that into your build. When you choose this at 3rd level, you get Arms of the Astral Self. As a bonus action, if you spend 1 key point, you summon the arms of your Astral Self or your spirit. When you do so, each creature of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take force damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Love that. Just for being 10 feet near you when you call on your Arms of the Astral Self. That's pretty cool. For 10 minutes, these spectral arms hover near your shoulders or surround your arms, your choice. You determine their appearance, and they vanish early if you are incapacitated or die. While these special spectral arms are present, you gain the following benefits. You can use your wisdom modifier in place of your strength modifier when making strength checks and strength saving throws. Probably because you've spent a lot of your points up front building your character in dexterity, because all monks are very dexterous, but then maybe you pivoted to wisdom and really made that your second ability modifier. You can use the spectral arms to make unarmed strikes. When you make an unarmed strikes with the arms on your turn, your reach for it is 5 feet greater than normal. The unarmed strikes you make with the arms can use your wisdom modifier in place of your strength or dex modifier for the attack and damage rolls, and their damage type is force. Because they're spectral, they're not going to be bludgeoning. And that's why it uses your wisdom modifier, because you're fueling that from your spirit, right? So it's going to use your wisdom. At 6th level, you get Visage of the Astral Self. As a bonus action, or part of the bonus action you take to activate the Arms of Astral Self, so now you can stack this, you can spend an additional key point to summon this Visage for 10 minutes. It vanishes early if you're incapacitated or die. The spectral visage covers your face like a helmet or a mask. You determine its appearance. While the spectral visage is present, you gain the following benefits. You get astral sight. You can see in normal darkness, both magical and non-magical. That's important, up to 120 feet, because a spell like darkness is going to cover the area in magical darkness. Dark vision typically cannot see through a spell like that. Your Astral Sight will allow you to do so. And now whoever casts that darkness spell is not going to impose disadvantage on you for your attack rolls or saving throws because you can see what's going on with that Astral Sight. That's what makes that so important. You can also use Wisdom of the Spirit. You have advantage on Insight and Intimidation checks. You also have Word of the Spirit. When you speak, you could direct your words to a creature of your choice that you could see within 60 feet of you, making it so that only that creature can hear you. So speaking out loud, designating someone within 60 feet, only they can hear you. Alternatively, you can amplify your voice so all creatures within 600 feet can hear you. So that's a good way to tell somebody a secret or project everything so everybody clearly hears your instruction. I love that. That's a really great feature. At 11th level, you get Body of the Astral Self. This spectral body covers your physical form like a suit of armor, connecting with the arms and the visage. You determine its appearance. While the spectral body is present, you gain the following benefits. Deflect energy. When you take acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, or thunder damage, all energetic damage types, you can use your reaction to deflect it. When you do so, the damage you take is reduced by 1d10 plus your wisdom modifier. Great. Another good reason for you to have your wisdom modifier high. You could use Empowered Arms. Once on each of your turns, when you hit with the arms of the Astral Self, you could deal extra damage to the target equal to your martial arts die. Awesome. And then at 17th level, you have Awakened Astral Self. As a bonus action, you can spend 5 key points to summon the arms, visage, and body of your Astral Self and awaken it for 10 minutes. This awakening ends early if you're incapacitated or die. When your Astral Self is awakened, you gain the following benefits. Armor of the Spirit. You gain +2 bonus to your armor class. Astral Barrage. Whenever you use the extra attack feature to attack twice, you can instead attack 3 times if all the attacks are made with your astral arms. So that's really cool. This is like donning yourself with spiritual armor in a sense, like the head, the arms, the full body. And as you gain additional pieces, we'll call it, of this astral armor, you gain all those additional benefits. So this is a really good way of giving your monks some features that are unique to the class, that are really cool for flavor, and are very helpful for both you and your party, whether it's to deal extra damage or protect yourself in some way. I really like that. I think this would be a great feature to use in a setting like Spelljammer or Curse of Strahd, where, you know, seeing spirits isn't all that uncommon. It would normalize itself there. Or you could go the opposite route and use this type of build to kind of freak out people when it's not so common and they see this. And it's just going to give your character a little bit more mystique when you're talking about the spirit and the astral self, and maybe you get some eye rolls from people in town or even your own party members, and then they see what you're able to do. I think that gives it a little bit of flavor and makes you unique in that way. So this is a pretty decent subclass to use. Those, my friends, are the Way of Mercy and the Way of the Astral Self for the monk subclasses from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. In our next video, we are going to tackle the Paladin class. So have fun building your monk, and until we get to that Paladin class, you keep rolling those dice, and we'll see you at the table.